All right, well, good afternoon to you. River flooding potentially now as we get into it right now happening for some locations. I'll get into it in a second by Wausau. We also get into rain and snow mix coming in where that will exacerbate the river flooding, getting into areas right by, say, right down the Mississippi River, not Mississippi River, excuse me, not even close to that as we get into Black River Falls continuing on. We'll also see the possibility of this happening by Wausau, just south of that, getting to areas by D.C. Everest Park, as well as some other locations in that region. In fact, they could see a little flooding that has been going on since this morning. Normally the flood stage is at 1167. They're now at 1168. So there's a little flooding going on since this morning into the forecast for you right now. We'll also be taking into account the highs for the day. A quiet day out there. Light winds for you, getting into temperatures in the 40s. We'll also see we went from partly cloudy. We have mostly sunny skies out there right now. That's going to last all the way through the afternoon commute as well as getting into portions of your evening commute as well. We'll hold on to this as we go right into the 8 o'clock hour for today. You're seeing temperatures pretty much in the 30s, some upper 20s in the forecast as well, going right back into the 11 o'clock hour. Once we get into the morning, though, and we see by sunrise, clouds start to come in from the west. They start to push across, getting into our region, holding on to the noon hour with light rainfall trying to get along I-94, crossing the Mississippi River there. Then we take it into at least 3 o'clock where this is all starting to move in. Rainfall is first moving into the forecast here where it's getting pretty decent down to the ground here at least. Lighter stuff up to the north. Once that happens, you see a mix coming out of Rochester as well as Austin, and then that mix cuts across the Mississippi, starts to work across all the way into La Crosse, where we see that up into areas by Eau Claire and extending up along along I-94 to the north. Then it turns quickly into snow. As that happens, it goes through the evening commute, continuing on. So that's a little bit of slush going into your evening commute. That continues to lift up, turning into snow. That continues to drive northward. We're also seeing the lighter rainfall and, of course, spottier showers in the forecast down to the south. You get into the 9 o'clock hour, this rainfall now, I should say snowfall, turning into ice and snow. We have a mix of rain and snow down by Red Wing, getting into Winona, extending out to Rochester, down to La Crosse. You're looking at some lighter showers working in the area. They continue to move out over by Sparta, going into areas by Shelby as well, and they continue to track out to the northeast. As that happens, we go into the overnight, and we're holding on to light rain and storm activity now starting to move in. That's going to track between Rochester, Red Wing, Eau Claire, as well as Black River Falls and La Crosse, moving through the area here. It starts to steam up a little bit more so going into the afternoon, where you're seeing that continue to lift up with light to moderate rainfall in the forecast going into Wednesday at 6 a.m. Then that continues all the way lifting up to the north. You have more ice now than snow working there, where you have pretty much getting into rain down to the south, extending down to limited amounts of rain as you go farther south of La Crosse. By the time this goes in by the 9 o'clock hour, the area of low pressure comes in associated with that, and that lifts everything to the north. Highs for Tuesday getting into the 40s widespread as well, with cloudier skies, breezy winds. That'll carry over, as you can see, during through the day. Tuesday right there, holding on to that rainfall in the afternoon, turning to snow. Over for Eau Claire, you're looking at cloudier skies with 6 o'clock coming in with rain and snow coming in during your evening commute. Then you take it right back over to how this all looks as we go through the next few days. A weather alert day is now in effect, going for Tuesday all the way into sunrise and, of course, through the Wednesday morning as well. Then we get into drier conditions once we get past Wednesday, going into much nicer conditions on the way.
Thank goodness. I think we deserved it after all this stuff we're going to have to deal with, this whole mess that's coming.
Break records and bam, back in the snow.
It's a roller coaster here in Wisconsin. Well, thank you, Art. Sure.